At 1:32 a.m., alarms pierce the silence as 6 unidentified jets dive at over Mach 1 toward a U.S. aircraft carrier. In the dark, open waters, the nightmare is confirmed. Iranian Su-35s, heavily armed and closing by the mile. Within minutes, every radar, every ship, and every fighter crew races to full combat posture, locked in a contest where one wrong call could spark war. Somehow, not a single shot is fired. What happened in those critical seconds, and how did this carrier group maintain control in the face of a near catastrophe? Carrier strike groups operate in some of the most contested waters on the planet, especially near the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage, just 21 miles across at its tightest point, carries nearly 20% of the world's oil shipments every day. Any disruption here ripples across global markets within hours. For Iran, the presence of a United States carrier is both a challenge and an opportunity. Aggressive maneuvers, like sending fighters close to a carrier's airspace, serve as a form of signaling, an unmistakable reminder to Washington and its allies that Tehran can threaten vital sea lanes at will. The Su-35, Russia's most advanced export fighter, brings new reach and lethality to Iran's arsenal. With a top speed over Mach 2, a combat radius of more than 1,600 kilometers, and a radar able to track dozens of targets at once, a 6-ship formation can cover vast stretches of the Gulf in minutes. Even a single Su-35 sortie forces every ship and aircraft in the carrier group to react instantly. The memory of past miscalculations, like the 1988 downing of Iran Air Flight 655 by USS Vincennes, shapes every decision. Rules of engagement now demand positive identification and strict control at every level. In this environment, one wrong move, by pilot or commander, can trigger consequences far beyond the immediate horizon. A blip appears on the E-2D Hawkeye radar scope, 6 fast-moving contacts closing from just under 180 nautical miles at high altitude. The airborne early warning crew, orbiting at 25,000 feet, instantly recognizes the signature. Fighter-sized, tight formation, speed increasing. Within seconds, the track data is transmitted to the Carrier Combat Information Center, where the TAO confirms the inbound vector using shipboard SPY-6 radar. The handoff is seamless. Link 16. Data link fuses the picture for all ships and aircraft in the strike group. The TAO makes the call. Threat confirmed. Possible hostile intent. Alert 5 is triggered. FA-18s on the flight deck are ready to launch within 5 minutes. Crews already strapped in and engines hot. The E-2D APY-9 radar can track targets out to 300 nautical miles, but in these waters, latency is measured in seconds, not minutes. Every decision now runs through a strict command chain, from the TAO to the air boss, from the carrier captain to the strike group commander. The entire defensive posture shifts in less than a minute. The carrier strike group moves from routine vigilance to high alert. Every operator locked on the inbound threat, waiting for the next order. The clock is now ticking toward intercept. 12 minutes. That is all the time the carrier strike group has before 6 Sukhoi Su-35 fighters close the gap from 120 nautical miles to the outer defensive ring. Each jet pushes over 600 knots, chewing up nearly 2 miles every 10 seconds. The radar controller in the Combat Information Center tracks their descent, high altitude to sea skimming in, under a minute. Formation tightening, velocity climbing. On the flight deck, the alert 5FA-18. Fighters receive the vector, intercept at 60 miles, time to launch measured in heartbeats. Every operator in the chain knows there is no margin for error. The E-2DAPY-9 radar updates the track every 10 seconds, feeding precise closure rates to the air intercept controller. At this speed, a single hesitation could mean the fighters cross into the 20-mile defensive bubble before the interceptors are in position. Communications go out on the guard frequency, urgent and clear. The carrier's defensive posture shifts from readiness to action as the seconds bleed away, the geometry of the approach leaving no room for delay. The Combat Air Patrol lead closes inside 10 miles, canopy glinting in the moonlight. On the emergency guard frequency, 243 MHz, the FA-18 pilot calls out, voice clipped and direct. "Iranian aircraft, you are approaching a U.S. Navy warship. Turn away immediately or you will be engaged. The Su-35s hold their line. Formation tight. Altitude dropping." The carrier's tactical action officer relays a final warning up the chain. No one breaks radio discipline. The American fighters press closer, lights on, wings rocking in a deliberate motion, an unambiguous signal recognized by aviators worldwide. For a long moment, the only reply is static. Then, one of the Iranian jets waggles its wings, banking away in a slow arc. The rest follow, peeling off in pairs. The U.S. pilots maintain position, tracking with radar but holding fire. Not a single missile leaves its rail. The crisis dissolves not with an explosion, but with discipline and restraint. Radio calls, visual signals, and the shared understanding of what comes next if anyone crosses the line. Tonight, restraint wins over reaction. Tensions in these waters still run high. One missed signal could reshape the world. In naval encounters, judgment in seconds can decide decades. Share your thoughts below.